Okay. Someone recently sat down across from a reader, a total stranger, and asked them to look into your energy. Real intention behind it, real money on the table. And the reader went quiet, longer than felt comfortable, and then looked up and said something like, "I wouldn't try anything with this one. She's protected." I don't normally open with someone else's reading, but I sat down this morning and couldn't shake this off my chest until I recorded it. My name's Emma, and I think this message has been waiting for the right person to land on for a while now, and I have a feeling that's you. So settle in, get comfortable, because we've got 6 cards today, and every single one of them is layered. I want to walk through this slowly, dear, because I don't think this is a message you're supposed to rush through. Opening energy read, 2 minutes to 3 minutes 30 seconds. Before we even flip a card, I want to say, the protection this reader picked up on didn't start recently. I think it's been with you since the beginning. You walk into rooms looking soft, open, easy to approach. People see the warmth first. And some of them mistake that warmth for something they can push against. What they don't see right away is that underneath the softness, there's real structure. Not coldness, not bitterness, just a kind of quiet, unshakable steadiness that most people can't quite name when they bump into it. You're gentle and solid at the same time, and I think that combination is exactly what's confused the people who tried to test you. Okay, let's pull our first card. You are covered beyond what you can see. Ooh, okay. This one came up strong. I keep going back to that reading I mentioned. When that reader tried to look past your surface energy, they said it felt like hitting something solid. Not a wall exactly, more like a presence. Something that had clearly been standing guard for a long time, quietly in the background, long before you ever noticed it yourself. I think a lot of you have gone through stretches where you felt like you were handling everything completely alone. No backup, no safety net, just gritting your teeth and getting through it. But this card is telling me that wasn't the full story. Something was covering you the entire time, even in the moments it felt like nothing was. Here's the part that gives me chills with this card. I don't think this protection is passive. I think it's active, watching, filtering what gets close to you and what doesn't. So if you've survived something recently that probably should have hit you a lot harder than it did, that's not luck, dear. That's this exact energy doing its quiet work. They tested you and found a wall. Whoa. Okay, this card carries some real weight. I keep sensing a specific person. Maybe initials feel like they're landing near a D or a K for some of you, or an M or a T for others. Someone who came at you, or is still circling you, with an agenda. Looking for a soft spot, somewhere to get in. And what they found instead was consistency. You don't perform differently depending on who's in the room. Same tone, same honesty, same version of you whether you're alone at midnight or surrounded by people. That consistency is exactly what makes you so hard to manipulate. There's no gap between the public you and the private you for anyone to slide into. I think some of the people who've tried this on you walked away more shaken than they expected to be. Not because you did anything dramatic, you probably didn't even raise your voice, but because they came looking for a crack, and there simply wasn't one. And that, dear, is its own kind of quiet power. You don't have to fight people like this. You just have to keep being exactly who you already are, and it does the rest. What was sent against you is returning to sender. This card is a little more direct, so I want to be honest with you about it. I keep sensing that you haven't been up against just one person, more like a small circle, some connected, some not, all of them at different points trying to knock you off your footing, discredit you, or take credit for something you built. And every one of them has hit the same invisible resistance. Some of them, from what I'm sensing, have actually started turning on each other because whatever energy they aimed at you didn't land, and it's settling back among themselves instead. I also want to mention, some of these people might circle back around soon with casual little check-ins. Hey, thinking of you, that kind of thing. I'm not saying every reconnection is bad faith, but trust your gut here, dear. You already know the difference between someone genuinely returning and someone just regrouping. That instinct hasn't failed you before, and it's not going to start now. There's also a kind of quiet justice running underneath all of this. What people send out tends to find its way back to them eventually. Not because you're orchestrating it, but because that's simply how it tends to work. You don't need to chase it or make it happen. You just need to keep building your own life. Someone is watching from a respectful distance. Okay, this one's a nice shift in energy. There's someone in your orbit right now, different from the person we just talked about, who isn't approaching you with an agenda at all. What I'm picking up from them is more like quiet admiration, almost awe. They've noticed how you handle pressure, how you don't shrink or rearrange yourself to be more convenient for other people. And instead of being intimidated by that, they're drawn to it. I keep getting this image of something simple, like sitting together somewhere quiet, rain outside, comfortable silence. Not some big dramatic gesture, just presence. This person seems to understand, even if only instinctively, that being close to you isn't something to demand, it's something to earn. And I think they've been quietly working on themselves because of that. Becoming more honest, more intentional, not because you asked them to, but because your energy raised a bar in them they didn't know they had. I'm sensing initials here too, maybe a J or an N for some of you, B or W for others. If that resonates, you probably already know who I mean. What you've built in silence is about to be seen. This card is exciting, honestly. I keep sensing something you've been working on quietly. A project, a skill, a body of work nobody's really seen yet. And it's about to cross over from invisible to undeniable. The same energy that's been protecting you this whole time doesn't stop at protection. It follows what you build, too. So whatever this thing is you've poured yourself into without an audience, it's not going unnoticed by the universe, even if it feels that way right now. I think the recognition coming isn't the kind you have to chase or force. It's the kind that finds you because the work eventually gets loud enough on its own. And I think some of the very people who tried to slow you down are going to end up watching you receive exactly what they hoped to prevent. The protection follows you into what's next. Last card for today, dear, and it feels like a good one to close on. Whatever's been covering you up until now doesn't expire. It moves with you into the next relationship, the next project, the next version of your life you're building. I think this next season is going to ask you to stop shrinking. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet internal permission to take up the space you've probably been minimizing for a while. That's not arrogance, dear. That's just finally matching the size of what's actually been protecting you this whole time. So bringing all 6 of these together, you are covered far beyond what you can currently see. The people who tested you found only steadiness. Whatever was sent your way is finding its own way back. Someone out there is quietly admiring you from a respectful distance. What you've built quietly is about to be seen. And none of this protection is going anywhere as you step into what's next. I know today's reading carried some real weight, and I don't take that lightly. Thank you for trusting me with this much of your energy today. If any of this landed for you, drop a comment letting me know which card hit hardest. I read every single one. And if you already know exactly who I was talking about in card 2 or 4, just leave a feather emoji. No need to say more than that. I'm Emma, sending you so much love, so much light, and so much steadiness as you keep building. Until next time, take care of that beautiful heart of yours. Bye, dear.